said, you are a role model now. And then he said, even if you don't want to be. And then he said, well, and it's a bit odd, isn't it? Because you do want to be, but you don't want to be. So I'm divided about this whole thing of being a role model. It's kind of embarrassing. It's certainly embarrassing to acknowledge it, as it seems vain and arrogant. But on the other hand, what other point is there, really? I mean, what other reason is there to testify and share if it's not to embody something to the best of our ability that others can be inspired by and given courage, encouraged to embody themselves, to set a good example? Otherwise, why be public at all? Because we live in a mimetic society. We are mimetic beings. So putting myself forward at all means I'm going to be putting myself forward as an example of something. So at least do that somewhat consciously and use it as an opportunity or an impetus to really put my best side forward. There are parts of me, parts of all of us that have never been validated. So how do I create a context in which I can articulate and express aspects of my life force, of my soul that have never been articulated, so that they can be validated, so they can be seen and thereby validated? That's where this vulnerability spell or non-spell comes in, that as long as I have sufficient control over my own actions, i.e. I am acting sufficiently consciously, I'm not going to self-sabotage, I'm not going to provoke hostile reactions, thereby I don't need to protect myself, I can just keep living. Then I can also allow myself to become more and more vulnerable, because I have the consciousness and the responsibility to trust that whatever I say or do will not lead to a hostile reaction. So I'm extending the safety of the space around my body, or expanding it further and further into the world, into the community, until eventually the whole of humanity becomes the safe space that I exist in. Vulnerability has to do with letting oneself be seen. To me, that's the core of it. I need to be seen in order to see myself and to know that I exist. And the more I let of myself be seen, the more vulnerable I'm going to feel. And therefore, the more vulnerable I'm able to allow myself to feel, the more seen I can be. Vulnerability is openness, and that's what allows the life force to move.